in the second half of that game, but were unable to complete the comeback. So BC and St. John's here from Newton. St. John's in the red, Boston College in the home white kits here on this Monday late afternoon in Newton, Massachusetts. Red Storm under head coach Ian Stone, his 33rd season as the head coach, 22 winning seasons. St. John's coming off a year they went 3-9-5 last year, won 6-3 in Big East play. Picked 9th this season. There's Sadie Mathis coming up, playing in that right back spot. Remember, she played some forward last year. It's more of her natural spot, but she's really settled into this right back role. It's a Boston College team that does bring back a lot. The biggest key loss, Sophia Lowenberg, but they bring back really a lot of their group from last season. 80% of their minutes on the field, 85% of their goals from last season returning, including leading scorer Sophie Reale, who's up front to start, along with Emily Mara. And one of the newcomers, Nico Corpez, the redshirt sophomore, who's a native of Worcester here in Massachusetts, played the last couple of years with Penn State, played 14 matches last year after redshirting for her freshman year and then didn't play as a sophomore. A lot of potential there. Number 9 in white for BC, and she's the one who steps up on it. Ball is out for a throw. Eagles a 5-8-5 season last year. They were 4-2-4 at one point after a good non-conference, after a tie against number 16 Wake in ACC play. Saw a lot of really big offensive performances, and the hope this year is with a little bit more depth up front, being able to really expend their minutes well, they could add to some of that scoring total. Alex Schoenstad, another one of the newcomers, ahead for Corpez, but a good defensive play. Juliana Bavona, the redshirt sophomore, another one coming back from injury after missing all of last season after transferring from USF. Here is Sophie Reale out wide. Reale goes to her right, tries a cross, and it's in on Caleb Bauer, who gets the start as the goalkeeper, the grad student. Third year as the starter for St. John's, started all 17 games last year, 4 clean sheets. Two-time Big East goalie of the week. That's a whistle in possession to the Red Storm. On the other side for Boston College, Faith Fenwick getting the start once again today, as in the opener. Olivia Shippey is out right now due to an injury, hoping to have her back. So BC is down Shippey and Georgina Clark. Two key players from last year. Shippey had a great year, starting all 18 matches last season, but they really like Fenwick. Remember, that was a battle early in the season last year to decide the starting job. Nora Basil, but it's Ashley Roberts who comes back. So Roberts is probably playing farther back than she will once BC gets back to full strength earlier in the year. But they really like being able to have Barrett, Roberts, Andy Wright all on the field at the same time. Schoenstadt plays it forward, and Corpez got a foot on it, but it's out of play. And a goal kick coming up 4 minutes in to this first half. St. John's, Boston College. This is 21st all-time meeting between these teams. Boston College last year and St. John's, they tied 0-0. That was on September 14th, later in the non-conference down in Queens. Madre, who's back, is the key on that back line for BC. Dre, who's really in her third year now as starting center back for Boston College, all under Chris Watkins. Who's next to her is maybe the most interesting piece of this Eagles team this year. It's the freshman Sam Rorty, who is not a natural center back. Had never really played that spot before, but they really liked her personality and her mentality and felt like she had all the skills to be in that spot. With Lydia Poulin still down for the moment for BC, so it's Rorty who's back there. And did a nice job in game number 1, playing 84 minutes in that opener. Here is Emily Mara. And it's cleared out. Well done by Bavona. Redshirt sophomore again, coming back home after starting her career in Florida. Now, these are two teams that both feel like there's not just momentum to build off of, but just because of the number of players coming back. St. John's returning 24 players and 8 starters, plus the additions of Basil and Bavona, who both missed last season, as we talked about. Rorty got a lot of room to work. Trying to find Sophie Reale. Mathis gets it forward. And that is out, going to St. John's. Rorty stepping up. And Ash Roberts now. Dre will come over for Schoenstatt, the grad student coming in from Utah after starting her career at Ole Miss. Corpus is down, and now the whistle comes out. So a couple of fouls have gone against the Eagles so far. Steinisdottir into the box, Trey right there. And Tess Barrett goes back for Mathis. Sadie Mathis loves to go forward. Here is Emily Mara. Mara trying to get around. It was well defended. St. John's has done well on that back line so far. Mathis finds right. Working for Reale. Pushed off for the moment. And a good find by Juliana Dane. Reale, though, on a hop, misses wide. And the first shot of the game belongs to Boston College, though off target. Reale over there once again, as well as Abby Fitzmaurice, redshirt junior from Philadelphia. And that ball is out. Boston College throw coming up. Mara got just a piece of it, but Telma Steinisdottir. A little bit of open space for Wright. Andy Wright now is a sophomore. Really saw her playing time go up as the year went on. Dre steps up, got a foot on it. And Sophie Reale now. Here is Mathis. Mathis, nice little give and go with Mara. Has some space, getting around with numbers, trying to come through for Reale. Tess Barrett over there as well. And a deep throw coming up for the Eagles. Well, the play has been pretty much exclusively down this end of the field. And the first 10 minutes still scoreless. Boston College got on the board in the 4th minute in game number 1. Ashley Roberts. Reale tried to settle it, got bumped from behind, but we play on. That was Juliana Dane, who was matched up 1v1 defensively with Reale. Steiner's daughter moving it over for Lauren Spence. And now Schoenstatt comes over. Taken away. Corpus was trying to get it through for Mara, not quite there. Steiner's daughter. And a decent spot. And that's out for a throw. Only ACC game of the day here. Most of the conference playing their 2nd games of the season yesterday. Eagles with these first 2 home games before a 2-game trip at Cornell and at Rutgers over the next week. Freshman Rorty from Milton, Pennsylvania. Eagles ball from the far side. Right, a little turn, finding Tess Barrett. Well, Barrett is a freshman last year, nearly 500 minutes off the bench. Really like what she could be as, I mean, she scored so many goals in high school here at Cohasset in Massachusetts, over 100 career goals. And they feel like has a chance at least to be a real weapon at the 10. Mathis saw an opening. Sadie Mathis coming through. He's trying to slide for Corpus. And now coming back the other way, Nora Basil. Already staying with her well, so good opening salvo from the freshman center back to stay close, but actually going to rule this a corner kick, and St. John's will have first opportunity from the corner. Rorty and Basil were together, but that last touch just slides out over the end line. So an opportunity here for St. John's. They had 1 corner kick in game 1 against UMass. Into the box, header comes out wide near side. Still in. There was a touch from Bavona, but couldn't get it all the way through. St. John's, as we said, was outshot 12-8 in the opener, 8-3 in shots on target, but most of that was in the first half. It was 5-1 total shots in favor of St. John's in half number 2. Little turn from Leah Anon, the sophomore from Virginia. And Faith Fenwick, who was with Chris Watkins as a freshman at Gonzaga. 5 matches as a freshman, then was with the Canadian national team program her sophomore year. So didn't play here at Boston College, played in that FIFA U20 Women's World Championship back in 2024. So they like the fact that she's had a lot of this big game experience and a lot of time. Chris Watkins talked about the idea of getting to feel a ton of pressure in those international games. So they really like that. She can bring that to the table. Nil-nil game here. 15 minutes gone in this first half. Boston College and St. John's. Home game number 2 for the Eagles on this young season. Through ball, controlled by Wright. And then Roberts just got a piece of it. Mathis, though. Back now for Rorty and Dre. BC okay to play possession here for the moment. Dre's gonna take the space allotted to her. Corpus now. Was looking for Barrett. It was read well by Julia Lombardo. And a throw coming up here for the Red Storm. Lauren Spence. St. John's, as we said, picked 9th in the Big East preseason. Foul there went against Mara. Just a warning for the moment. So a free kick for Steiner's daughter. Good possession here for St. John's and Ons with Ashley Roberts close on her. And it's Fenwick. Good outlet there. It's one of the strengths of Fenwick's game. Great feet, get a good ball forward. Start sequences like this with Sophie Reale trying to matriculate against 2. St. John's able to recollect. That was Basil, but it's Amadre. Good position the whole time, never gave Basil a chance to get in behind. Rorty forward for Mara. It's going to find some open space for Tess Barrett. Trey wearing that captain's armband. Corpus comes back. Eagles liking their build-up for the moment. Andy Wright goes for Sophie Reale. This is the area BC felt like they got to a lot last year. Can they find a finish? Or in this case, something into the box. Reale was there, well defended though again by St. John's. So on we go, 0-0. 19 minutes into half number 1. Out to St. John's. Possession maybe a little closer to even here over the last 5 minutes or so. Officially shots one apiece. Either one on target, just the one corner kick belonging to the visitors. Ball heading right towards the box. Oh, got a good head on it. There's a chance, and Fenwick with a big stop on Bavona was in a great, that was an excellent ball coming all the way in. Bavona in a great spot, and Fenwick has to make a really crucial save and does so. Well done for Faith Fenwick. Made 3 saves in that opener, facing 10 shots in total. So a second corner now for St. John's. Go a little bit wide. And that header from Leah and Ond was a little too tall. So the best opportunity of the game so far. And Faith Fenwick equal to it. Daisy Burt for and on with Sadie Mathis right there. Close on D with Boston College. Lombardo against Tess Barrett. Fitzmaurice. Steiner's daughter. For Lauren Spence in the right back spot. Good run by Schoenstad to read that. Gonna lead Emily Mara. Can she get in behind? No, it's well played by Steiner's daughter. But BC trying to counter there a little bit with some speed. Chris Watkins really likes his wings in Schoenstad on the left side and Mathis on the right, how they can run, how they're willing to step up. They have that inclination. All becomes key in his high pressing system that we've seen him deploy in this now season number 3 since taking the Boston College head coaching gig. Basil back to Dre. And Ond is the free runner, but Mathis switching spots with Rardy. Reale wasn't over there, so it's out. And Bavona will go back and get it. And we'll have our first sub of this first half. It's St. John's. Kaylee McCormick coming in, the junior transfer from Seton Hall, replacing Daisy Burt, sophomore from Newcastle in England. So St. John's has had the last 3 shots in this first half. Schoenstad going skyward. Dre will reset back with Rardy. Coming up on the 20-minute mark here in half number 1. No score here. Boston College, St. John's. Ashley Roberts. Through ball. Corpus, all kinds of room. And it's a good job by Steiner's daughter to come over and prevent it. All of a sudden, it felt like everybody almost hesitated because there was so much space in the middle. On a nice little overlapping run there with Mara. Mara's wide now. And that's forced out for a deep throw. And here's where you kind of see, can BC sort of put the pedal down and stay at this end of the field. Corpus settles, turns to her left. That is forced out, and it's a goal kick. But even in that sequence, which doesn't end up developing, you see some of that creativity that BC is really excited about with Nico Corpus. Again, played about 300 minutes last year with Penn State, 14 matches. After missing basically 2 full years with the injury. Tess Barrett off her right foot. Mara knocked it down, but it's out on the near side. Throw coming up for BC. Schoenstad looking for Mara. Did get behind, and BC earns its first corner. Well, BC is certainly used to earning corner kicks. Top 15 in the country in each of the last 2 years under Chris Watkins. They were 14th last year and 3rd in the ACC, averaging 7 per game. First one of this contest with Tess Barrett to take it for the Eagles. Going deep and long with it off the back of right. Dre still gets there right into the box and nobody home but Bauer, the keeper, who can secure. So you do see a little bit more of that Eagles identity that we've been coming used to seeing over the last couple of years. And there is that high press, right? It forces the keeper into a decision. And kind of a half-beat mistake, right? All of a sudden the ball's out. BC gets another deep throw. That's the idea of this Chris Watkins system. Corpus into the box. Can Reale get to it? It's a little bit out of her reach. Leah Anand was the one who ended up on the turf. Dane with Roberts stepping up and on. It was a little bit too far for her. Rorty will work it back for Fenwick. Feels like the Eagles have started to find their game a little bit here. Can they start to capitalize nearing the half-hour mark of this first half? In a game that remains 0-0. Goal kick coming up here for St. John's. Barrett steps up, got a takeaway. Sophie Reale. Back for Barrett, nice pass. Barrett tried to come back left, and it was read well by Dane. BC really trying to take the open space that's been presented in this first half. Starting to see a little bit more of it. Rorty going over top. A little bit far for Corpus, but you're still going to get Mara try to run it down again, forcing a decision here. Does just knock it out. Boston College will sub for the first time, and the aforementioned Georgina Clark will make her first action of the season. Coming off the bench, again, was out for the first game. A little bit banged up coming from where she played in the summer, but an important piece. Started all 18 matches last year, was second on the team, over 1,400 minutes. And then Addie Kalaw, the freshman from Needham, Massachusetts. Right down the road, someone Chris Watkins is really excited about what she can bring up front. Ball will stay at this end of the field. Kalaw was with FC Stars. Went to Buckingham Brown and Nichols here locally. Does a really good job of getting forward. Scored a goal in the opener. Off of a free kick that is out for a corner. So BC will have their second corner kick here in short order. It was Tess Barrett who took the first one. Was just subbed out, so this time it'll be Corpus, the lefty. Lower ball this time, was looking for Rorty. It's knocked back. Schoenstatt sends it back into the mixer. Knocked down once more, and now Clark on it. Eagles can play it out here. Sam Rorty. Mathis is back there. Dre still up wide. Clark with a nice touch to at least force it in before BC could reset. Still trying to put pressure on, but that's out. And it'll be a St. John's throw. Schoenstatt again. I think we've called her name a lot, and a lot of it has been, as we talked about, kind of stepping up, trying to make something happen, force the ball forward a little bit. As we said, someone who has that instinct, been coming from that left back spot. Fenwick now will reset with 11:16 to go. First half, no score. Boston College and St. John's. Mathis gets it forward. Kalaw. Bumped off, and whistle's coming out right on the edge of the box. And BC will be in a very dangerous position. You see some of that speed, right, that we were just talking about with Addie Kalaw. Again, it will be Corpus. Off of a free kick. Corpus tried to go to that top corner. And it missed high and wide. More Boston College subs set to come in. Baylor Goldthwaite, a grad student, Ada Henschien and Milla Lee. The latter two, both sophomores. All into the game for BC. Mara Corpus coming out. As well as Schoenstatt. So this is where we talk about that depth that Boston College feels like they have, especially in their forward group. That by being able to do kind of a, 30 minutes, 15, whatever the case may be, you can expend more energy and you can really have that high pressing system when you can spell and bring in some creative pieces. Kalaw settles. Addie Kalaw. St. John's is on it. Andy right there. BC has definitely changed the tenor of this match over the last 10, 15 minutes or so. After we saw some relatively even moments early. Milla Lee, who scored 3 times last season, had an assist in game number 1 this year. 7 career points for the sophomore. Trey kind of got knocked off, spun around a bit. Nice little play there, and Janelle Silvestri on the run for St. John's. Has to wait for help, though, and there you see Dre get back into a really good spot. We'll be back on a BC foot. 8 minutes to go in half number 1. A game that remains scoreless. Mathis just a piece, and it hops out. Dre plays it over for Rorty. Wright tried to get it through. Defended well by Lauren Spence. Nice little play by Anand. Trying to find a free area with Lombardo, but again, it's Mathis who chases it down. Shots even at 3. 1 on target each way. We are still 0-0 in this first half. Henschien, nice find. Roberts, maybe a little strong on the touch. But again, another creative looking sequence that nearly spells an opportunity off that right side. Basil. And it's Sadie Mathis once again, strong first half. Clark settles. Knocked down just enough by Fitzmaurice. Basil has to come back for it. Juliana Dane now. Nice run. Silvestri stays on it that whole way, but Mathis Able to defend before it got through for Leah Anand. 5:08 remaining in this first half. 0-0 we remain, BC and St. John's. Ashley Roberts now will come out. Another sub here for BC, Natalie Grossa. Former walk-on, now on scholarship, who earned it over the last couple of years. Played 16 minutes in game number 1. So that moves Goldthwaite into the midfield, and Grossa takes that left back spot. Here's Milla Lee. That ball went out on that far side. Close run along the sideline, but it is out. St. John's now, Samantha Goldberg, redshirt sophomore, is going to come in for Juliana Dane. Lombardo. Hard ball over. Seen some nice form from Silvestri. BC's able to get it back though. A game that feels a bit similar to when these two teams competed last year. And shots were 10-7 in favor of BC, 4-3 on target for the game, but ended 0-0. Back in mid-September. This settles for Henschien though. Tried to come left. And it's cleared out by Lauren Spence. Spence is the one that clears it out, but Steiner's daughter was the one that held her spot. Lordy tries to get it forward. Mathis again will come back for Dre. Here's Grossa. Now for Milla Lee. Lee to her right, good ball forward, gets through, Henschien plays it over, Kalaw scores! How about 2 games and 2 goals for the freshman, Addie Kalaw. At BC, in the waning moments of the first half, goes 1-0. Boy, a couple of really impressive things to point out there. The finish, number 1 from Kalaw, which again speaks to what we talked about, right? That BC feels like they can get wide. Do they have that finish in front? But Ada Henschien as well settles that ball really nicely. Great calm to have in the box there, and to be able to find the open player. Excellent sequence there, and the Eagles have the 1-0 lead. It took 4 minutes in game number 1. This one a little bit longer into the 44th minute.
First half, 1 minute remaining.
And Henschien kind of moving back to goal and going across, finding the opening. Milla Lee was the one who brought that ball in from the sideline on the left side, and then eventually goes and finds the opening off of a created turnover. And it was similar to that created space. And then it was the second time we sort of saw that same overlapping run that allows Henschien to get open and eventually find the goal scorer, Addison Kalaw. Is there one more here in the waning seconds? 11 seconds left in the half. Milla Lee, little fake, gets to the middle, finds Kalaw, got a piece of it, but then Bauer jumps on it, and that will do it for half number one. Even there, nice sequence by the Eagles to create. So you certainly saw as that half went on what Boston College wants to be. They put their high pressing system, and it is off of a takeaway that eventually have 4-3 total in shots in favor of Boston College. And the Eagles will start half number two on possession here against St. John's, trying to go to 2-0 to start this 2026 season. Full group of starters back in the game for BC to start here in this second half. Here's Sophie Reale. Nice little push forward, but it was a little too far for Ashley Roberts. It will be interesting to see how those subbing patterns develop with the forward group. Chris Watkins has always been a guy with his, it's kind of the nature of his system, right? Because you're high pressing so much, you're running so much that he is going to, it's not going to be usually 45-minute forwards by any means. And how that starts to deploy and who's got chemistry with who, and we saw that develop and change at times over the course of last season. Remember, in year one, it was that very senior veteran team. And then last year, one of the youngest teams in the country. So now you go to year three, 85% of the Eagles' goals from last season returning. St. John's had some good moments kind of the early to middle portion of that first half. Eagles had most of the possession, certainly at the end of the half. Let's see what develops here. It's a 3-on-3 going back. Silvestri had some good runs. Nice pass for Basil. Tried to give it back. It was a little too far, and Fenwick comes over. Silvestri probably had the best of the runs, but remember the biggest save of the first half came from Faith Fenwick on a really good opportunity. And BC eventually cashes in the 44th minute. Corpus, a little bit of a miss hit, but it's too far for Reale to get to, so Caleb Bauer steps up. Reale tried to whip it across, was deflected. So if he's back on it, Reale, nice move, has space, Reale from deep. And it's collected on a couple of hops by Bauer. Corpus stepping up a bit. Looked like it nearly ended up with Roberts, but Steinder's daughter. Over for Silvestri. Back for Mara. Went to a slide, but it's Kaylee McCormick. Takeaway though for BC. Corpus against Bavona. Again, the USF transfer missed all of last season. She's the one who had that wonderful opportunity in the first half. That was stopped by Fenwick. That's the lone shot on target for St. John's so far. Schoenstatt will go back for the keeper, Fenwick. Rorty over for Mathis. Dre takes the space, right, goes back wide, Schoenstatt looking for Mara. So much speed on that wing, forced out by Steindersdottir. St. John's, who did not play a ton of people in that opener, just 13 played of the field players. Boston College tending to go a little bit deeper in their card. Some of that obviously was the function of the score. A 7-1 win over Siena in that opening match. Reale back foot looking for Barrett. Nice ball forward. Mara, can she get there? Does keep it in on the line, but nobody else home there for BC. Ball is out now for a St. John's throw. Dre back to get it against the chase of the goal scorer for game one from St. John's, Nora Basil. Remember the Johnnies, who were down 2-0 after the first half in that game against UMass on Thursday. And then the 66th minute goal from Basil. First appearance and first goal since October 31st of 2024. Here is Mara, cuts right. Mara shoots, it's too tall. Nice little run there from Emily Mara. Mara over 1,200 minutes last year, 3 goals, 7 points. Scored in her debut against Stonehill and kind of went from there. Remember, also part of the Boston College hockey team. Where she had 3 assists playing in 25 games. The Eagles on the ice a year ago. Was just that player that was everywhere. Felt like if you could hand pick someone in the world to sort of match what Chris Watkins wants to do with his press, Emily Mara seemed like that person. And now he comes back year 2. Can you refine it right? Can you make those choices in the box to get even more of that finishing touch? Sophie Reale trying to force it forward, creating space, eventually called for the foul. Too much contact with the elbow, according to our referee. So a restart here for St. John's. Abby Fitzmaurice. BC has the last 5 shots over this contest. Oh, nice little ball from Anand, but Daisy Burt couldn't put it on net. Ball was still spinning pretty good. Mathis, good ball forward. Corpus gonna give Mara a chance. Runs underneath. Mar out, goes back for Corpus. Didn't have help wide. And then eventually the flag was up on the near side. Just got caught a little bit too far. Naturally that ball's gonna come across, but that pass wasn't quite there. So then trying to work back, and eventually the flag is up on the near side. So still 1-0 in favor of the home side. Right back to BC for the throw. Corpus 1-on-2. That was taken by Pavona. Dre steps up. Sophie Reale. Schoenstatt. Andy Wright finds Roberts. Nice little touch to get it over for Reale. Creates to the middle. Shot from deep. Oh, it sneaks in. It just got through, hugging that post. And Sophie Reale, the Eagles' leading scorer from last season, creating. And the Eagles have a 2-0 lead. Reale, who scored in the opener, and it just finds its way through. So Sophie Reale, that's her 9th career goal, folks. 6 of them last year for Boston College. Remember, 2 years at UCLA, scored a goal in that Big Ten championship game in her sophomore year, playing along with her sister. And now in year number 2 at Boston College. Had a hat trick last year, first for BC in 7 seasons. That ball is out for a St. John's throw. So Ashley Roberts gets the assist, Reale with the goal. So both Kalaw and Reale with goals in each of the first 2 contests of this season. And Roberts has her 3rd point. 56th minute goal. Coming back the other way with Dre, got a bump working against Anand. Ball does roll out, and a corner kick coming up for St. John's. It'll be their 3rd of the game. Julia Lombardo will come into the game for St. John's ahead of this really crucial corner. Down 2-0 for the 2nd game in a row. But again, remember, scored once, put on a lot of pressure in the late stages of the game, trying to come back before eventually falling 2-1 to UMass on Thursday. Straight on corner. Decent looking ball, goes through untouched, settled, and on, tries to come back into the box. And Andy Wright's the one who clears it. Already steps up. Back in behind, Basil settles it off of a bounce, Lombardo, but controlled by Fenwick. Corpus, good ball. Sophie Reale to her right. Reale is too tall. Similar spot to where we've seen her try so many similar looking stop, beat to her right, creates the space, and drills the shot. Ball bounces up high on Roberts. Fitzmaurice will get the restart here for St. John's, now trailing by 2. Sadie Mathis read that pretty well. Goes past and on. Kalaw in the 44th minute, Reale in the 56th to give Boston College a 2-0 advantage. Nice ball from Roberts to find Corpus. Looking for Mara now. And it's again Steindorsdottir. Does a good job to force it out on the near side. Mathis goes into the corner for Mara, lets it go by. Did that stay in? No. It was over the end line. Not a bad idea. Mara comes back. Again, that's that. Not directly a turnover, but again, just making the mental clock have to speed up a little bit. More decisions you make, more mentally tired you get over the course of the game, and that fatigue certainly plays into the system. Fenwick had to make one of those choices there. Goes way up in the air with a little bit of pressure from St. John's. And on now, but the flag up. So a goal kick for Fenwick. 15 minutes, 16 minutes, should say, into half number 2 on this Monday late afternoon in Newton. Corpus is knocked down by Eva Eriksdottir, who just checked into the game for St. John's. Did not see her in the first half or game 1 of the season. Standout player in Iceland. Coming in after 16 games last year with an assist. Tess Barrett settles. Barrett for Mara. Tried to give it back. Maybe one extra pass there. Mara using her speed. 1-on-2, earns the corner. Corner kick numbers have been down today for Boston College relative to what we're used to seeing for Chris Watkins, right? Top 15 team nationally in corner kicks each of his 2 seasons at the helm here at BC. And this will be number 3 today. Tess Barrett took the first and was subbed out for the second one. Back to the spot here. Third corner of the game for the Eagles. Already up by 2. Barrett into the box. First touch was Bauer. Roberts couldn't quite get to it before it was poked out. And away from harm. Eagles content to play possession for the moment. 2-0 lead for Boston College. 4-1 shots in this second half, 2 of them on target. Dre and Corpus, little give and go. Corpus tried to come left, was chased down by Juliana Dane. And then Barrett bumped and a foul on Dane. Free kick for BC. It's going to be Dre. Dre's going to give it to a wide area for Corpus. Backing down against two and earns the corner. So that was the job of that play for Boston College, and it worked to perfection. So corner kick number 4 coming up for BC. Deeper this time, Dre towards goal, and Bauer secures. So we've seen Barrett take it from that right side, if possible, Corpus from the other as the left footer. Ashley Roberts was looking for some sort of call. St. John's going to play it forward and on. Can she get through? Little bump from Mathis, shielding well, and Fenwick secures for Boston College. Erin Palmieri's going to come into the game for St. John's, her first action of the season, and then Milla Lee on the other side in for Boston College, replacing Sophie Reale after scoring the second goal of the game for the Eagles. Leah Anand. That was forced out by Andy Wright. Wright's a Utah native. Someone that Chris Watkins had been familiar with starting the recruiting process, just being out at Gonzaga. Good ball to the middle, chance on net, they score! Erin Palmieri just checking into the game. And her first career action is her first career goal, just moments after coming in. Welcome to college soccer. How about that? Just like game 1 for St. John's, down 2-0. It was the 66th minute goal from Nora Basil in game 1 to make it 2-1. Here it's in the 67th minute that Palmieri gets on the board. The native of West Islip gives the Johnnies a bit of life, a 2-1 score now. And now, you know, it's the interesting piece sometimes because I'm not sure you would have said the field had kind of switched at that moment or flipped at that moment, but just a few more balls down at that end, and all of a sudden St. John's creates something, and BC answer. Emily Mara lets this go. And BC will get a corner out of it. So this is really what we saw at times last year, where it was these kind of run of corners for BC. 3, 4, 5 of them in a 5 to 10 minute span. But now, of course, it's can you capitalize on some of these? Emily Mara coming out of the game for BC. Annie Nadula, Connecticut native, transfer in from Texas. The sophomore is in the game for the first time today. Looking for the tip off the corner. Rorty was over there. Dre as well. It's Tess Barrett to go track it down. Barrett to her right, well defended. Can St. John's counter out of it? No, because of the good play by Sadie Mathis. Maybe they can, in fact. Anand with a great run. And that forces out wide. It is Boston College ball, but good counter there by St. John's. Now it feels like trying to gain some momentum after the goal. Can they put a little bit of momentum on the end of this game, following through the way that they did on Thursday, trying to come from behind against UMass? Corpus knocked down. And got a takeaway. Good read by Corpus, but Lombardo, those two going 1v1. It has been a good battle. Lombardo got the best of it this time, and that's out on the near side. Throw to come. Addie Kalaw comes into the game for BC, as well as Baylor Goldthwait. Kalaw scored the first Eagles goal of this game and her second in as many games to her college career. Kalaw, well read on the back line by Lauren Spence. Eagles quickly take it away though. And that ball is out on the far side. A throw set to come here. Sadie Mathis. Kalaw, can she get through? To her right. Little bit strong on that last touch. But even there, I mean, she's fun to watch. Freshman from just right here in Needham, Massachusetts. Looks like is going to fit in quite well to everything that Chris Watkins is trying to do with his offensive schemes. Great offensive teams all through his time at Gonzaga. And trying to bring that here to Boston College as well. Saw it with that great year number one. With that veteran team last year, trying to build off a team that had about as many young pieces as you could have. It's kind of amazing, just, I mean, a lot of them are the same players, so by definition, right? It's this ball over the top. Aaron Palmieri trying to create, but that is out. Last year, BC's forward group, because remember, Sid Segala was out at that point and ended up missing most of the year, only had a little over 400 total minutes of college experience. And that was basically all Sophie Reale in her couple of years as a reserve for UCLA. The difference between that and this year, where sure you have a freshman like Kalaw coming in, but it's around people like Mara and 3 career goals coming into this year, like someone even like Nadula, who played nearly 300 minutes off the bench at Texas last year, with a Reale, with Milla Lee, who scored 3 times last year, and so on and so forth. Just a much different feeling with your forward group, even with, you know, obviously a lot of the same pieces. Ball is out on the far side, throw coming up. We are down to 17 and a half minutes to go in this match, which is at 2-1 in favor of Boston College. The goals from Kalaw and Reale for BC, then the answer in the 67th minute by Palmieri. Can St. John's do it again? And on couldn't get to it. Amadre, good spot. Whistle goes against St. John's. Basil to her left, and a whistle. They're going to blow it dead behind the play because of a head situation. Sadie Mathis is bent over, and again, anytime it's a head, no advantage situation to be had. You just blow it dead, and that's what happens here. So they will check on Sadie Mathis. Clock obviously stopping as well. 16:13 remaining in this second half. And the lead remains 2-1 in favor of Boston College. Mathis has gone over, standing up in the circle. So that is a positive sign. This will end up acting as a bit of a hydration break, which we're certainly used to now. And Mathis looks like is going to stay in this game. So very good sign there. It's had a nice day. A lot of strong plays, playing in that right back spot. Again, really, we saw her there a little bit last year for sure, and then more as the year went on, but, you know, was certainly an attacking player coming in. And one of the things that Chris Watkins had of praise for her was when you're in a situation like that, where you have someone who's a former attacking player in a defensive spot, it's not overcommitting to that attack and being able to step up. And she's done a nice job of both roles, right? Being able to step up, being able to create play, but also committing to the defensive end. Here's McCormick, tries to play it in. It was bumped by Dre. And that is out on the near side. BC and St. John's will both sub Janelle Silvestri. These are two returners, Silvestri for St. John's and Ashley Roberts for Boston College. Mathis will come out now. Foul goes against Eva Eriksdotter. Here's your goal summary. Kalaw, Reale, and Palmieri. BC with the first two, St. John's with the answer. And a half hour through this second half, a 2-1 Eagles lead. Milla Lee. Kalaw trying to get in behind. Did she make last touch or it's corner? No, it's corner. That was Steinder's daughter sliding down. Eagles will sub again. Sadie Mathis is going to come right back in here. Was out for maybe 30 seconds, and Georgina Clark will come in for Tess Barrett. Off of another corner here. Some more of them in this second half for BC. This will be number 6 for the game. 4 of them have come here in half number 2. Again, they averaged 7 per game last year, top 15 in the country. Bauer, first punch at it. That was a good ball by Lee. Goalthwaite, can she find a re-entry point? Skipping for Clark. And Roberts now towards goal. And Bauer is able to clutch it well before Nadula could get in. Some space here for Mathis. Mathis to her left. Mathis hit off the left leg of McCormick. Kalaw with a cross. Well caught by Steinder's daughter. All going back to St. John's. Goalthwaite with the throw. Goalthwaite kind of enters in once again this sort of Swiss Army knife role of being able to play in the midfield, being able to be an option on the back line if needed, both on the wings and as a center back if necessary. Clark forward, Nadula, can she get in behind? Secured by the keeper, Kayla Bauer. Nadula again got a chance. That was Bavona back there. They rule it clean in the box. Lombardo trying to get to it. Does do so before the sideline. Amadre now. We play on with Mathis. 11 minutes to go. 2-1 Boston College. Holding on to the lead over St. John's. And on. Ava Eriksdotter. BC will sub all 3 of their starting forwards. Will come back in here. Corpus, Mara, and Reale. Once again, as we talked about, those subbing patterns with that forward group. Group which has a goal, Sophie Reale. Here is Sadie Mathis. Ball forward for Mara. Emily Mara comes back to her left. Leaves it, Corpus. Nice little play. Corpus shoots and just missed high. A lot of work by Mara done on that right side and does give Corpus a chance. Shots are 7-2 Boston College in this second half. Up to 11-5 for the game. Here is Sophie Reale. Lot of space this time. Reale. Take it off well by Lombardo. Dre sends it skyward and out. Another St. John's sub, Abby Fitzmaurice, coming back in place of McCormick. So those back two center backs of Bavona and Fitzmaurice reestablished. Playing on that left side. Reale now. Stays with possession that whole way, creating space for herself. And will keep possession back. Rorty for Dre, the Eagle captain. Dre with the ball forward. Lombardo turns it back. Dangerous scoreline right now at 2-1. Roberts through ball. Mara, can she get there? AC is going to get a corner out of it, as all Bavona could do was send it out the back line. .643 to go, and the Eagles now on their average from last year with their 7th corner. Corpus into the box, header, Dre, oh, it hit the crossbar. A great opportunity to reestablish a 2-goal lead. Right back in. Amalia Dre, who scored 3 times last year. Coming up from that center back spot. Scored 2 of them off of corners. BC has stayed on it for a while here, and they're right back on it with Corpus. That's knocked out, but it's going to go to St. John's. See what kind of push here that St. John's can try to muster in this final 5:40. Is there something here with Nora Basil? Not according to Amalia Dre. Palmieri, the goal scorer, back in for Silvestri. Clock stops there. 5:05 to go. Into the box, header chance. Oh, it was right there, and it's just not on goal from Eva Aarsaether. Oh man, she was open in the box, had a look at it, and just could not put it on target. BC is going to sub again. Addie Kalaw, who scored in the first half, right back in for Corpus. This is the first time today that we've seen a trio up front of Reale, Mara, and Kalaw. BC nearly had a third moments ago. The header off the crossbar, off the corner. Mara got knocked down. We play on with 4:19 to go in this second half. Sophie Reale. Reale lost her footing, but didn't necessarily lose possession right away. Finally, St. John's clearing it back. Free restart coming here for St. John's. 3:51 left. Fitzmaurice, the one to restart for St. John's. They have the most recent goal in the 67th minute. In a game they trailed 2-1. On the edge of the box, Kalaw got there first. And on goes wide. St. John's is looking for maybe a hand. On we go, wide side cross. Fenwick comes out and controls with 3:20. 2-1. BC leads St. John's. Got through the legs of Fitzmaurice. St. John's was able to stay on it though. Basil, the goal scorer from game one. Eva Aarsaether. Her ball in, Goldthwaite ends up behind, and Fenwick has it. And then contact after the fact. Just inadvertent there with two players going for the ball late in a game in a key sequence. It was Erin Palmieri who scored the goal for St. John's. It was the one in there. And Fenwick just got to it first. So 2:43 to go once we restart. Still 2-1 Boston College, looking for a 2-0 start to this 26th season. Stayed in for a bit, and it's going to be St. John's ball. Rorty, the freshman, over there with Steiner's daughter. It's BC possession. Off of the throw, quickly taken away by Juliana Dane. Deep ball from Palmieri in. Fenwick secures. Under 2 minutes to go. The Sophie Reale goal in the 56th minute, the difference maker. If this should hold up over the final 100 seconds. Deep throw coming up. And BC is certainly content with this. After St. John's did have a bit of a run, trying to create something. Maybe never the grade A chance, but a couple of moments. This will stay down here for a deep throw. 1:13 to go. The officials encouraging BC to not sit on it. Mara to the corner, trying to do just that. It's out again. St. John's throw this time. Time running down here. They got to get it in. 51 seconds remaining. BC quickly is able to take it away. Kalaw again, smart play by the freshman, going right to the corner, no problems. It drags out. 37 seconds to go. Another St. John's throw. But again, BC's been able to quickly get to each of these in this sequence in the corner over the last minute. We'll see, is there one more rush? Nor Basil. Got two in front of her. Got to find something. It was knocked down. 16 seconds to go for Bavona. Had that great chance early. Fenwick's got it ahead of Lombardo. And that should just about do it. So the two early goals from BC are going to hold up. And the Eagles are 2-0 in this 2026 season.